I put a moratorium on Stephen A. Smith a few weeks ago. I don't want to talk about the idiot. I don't want to talk about the fraud. People say, well, you're jealous. He's making a lot of money. There are a lot of people. Actually, I'm not a jealous kind of person. But I just pay attention, and I've had enough. I've had enough. But we got to talk about him because he continues to be the Joe Biden of sports. He is the Joe Biden of broadcasting. He just says shit and then expects everybody to go, oh, yeah, man. I mean, this man hasn't done a damn thing in sports other than talk, yell, and scream and lie. Well, there's always the lying. Here's what this idiot says. He says he supports sticking to sports when he's on the air, thinking that politics has, quote, hurt the network, which, of course, is a total crock of shit because in the last few years, all ESPN has done is talk and shove their political agenda down the throats of Americans who actually do want to stick to sports. I don't want to hear Stephen A. Smith's opinion on anything, much less sports, much less politics. I don't give a damn who Elle Duncan thinks she is or isn't. I don't want to hear her opinion on anything, but we get it thrown down our throats. And the fact of the matter is these folks are all such cowards, they just can't admit it. Although Elle Duncan does admit it, so I'll give it to her. This is what Smith had to say. I like talking politics. Good, that's right, me too. I like talking about some of the political issues that are percolating and he tries so hard to sound smart, and are permeating throughout our society and beyond. That stuff does not scare me. Certainly, it's a dangerous platform at times. I understand that, particularly in the climate that we live in. He's not in any danger of anything. He can say whatever he wants. He's full of shit, as evidenced by him saying white people stay out of it. Hey, man, I don't want to hear Stephen A. Smith's comments on two white guys having a debate tonight. I don't want to hear any of it. None of it. I understand that, particularly in the climate that we live in. He lives in no climate. Hey, look, this is your reparations. I mean, white dudes for years didn't allow African Americans to have real opinions, and now they do. I'm not mad about that. I'm just mad about the lying. I'd be mad if this guy was white, black, green, or purple. But I also like to be that renegade. Oh, okay. When Jimmy Patera arrived around 2018, he wanted us to veer away from politics, and he was absolutely right because it was hurting the network. I completely supported him then. I completely support him now. Oh, okay. Really? You just told white people to stay out of a black-on-black thing. Now, if that ain't politics, I don't know what is. That ain't the climate of the day. There isn't a human being alive working at ESPN, and this is good for Smith, that is white, that wouldn't have been fired for that. Hell, they got mad at me. They didn't fire me, but they got mad at me for saying I wouldn't go in a pool with a woman that wasn't my wife. It became a national story. This dude told white people to stay out of something. And, of course, the media is scared to death. I've told you this. The only media that goes after this idiot is us, because what's he going to do to me? And Doug Gottlieb, because what's he going to do to him? There ain't nothing Stephen A. Smith can do to nobody. If you touch him, he'd probably blow over in the wind. But anyway, it continues. When you tune into ESPN, that's what you're looking for. But at the same breath, we're not a monolith people. We have an abundance of ideas and passions and interests that we like to touch on that fuels our spirit and our soul on a lot of different levels. Why do we tune into something to see this idiot or anybody else's fuel or soul fueled? I mean, why? I mean, I don't know. I guess we're supposed to. And when you don't see me talking about those things, it's primarily because I'm appeasing the bosses in the network that I work for. Well, he doesn't have to appease anybody. He's got him scared to death. He has Jimmy Patero, Connor Schell, Burke Magnus shitting themselves every day. They know their network is crap. And if you watched last night, all the mistakes that were made, including this idiot calling it the University of Indiana, and these idiots not knowing half the people. You can see Billis was miserable. And if you didn't see that Jackson, or what's his face, Jeff Shepard, the father of Reed, who was a national champion, most outstanding player in the NCAA tournament, was called by a name that wasn't his. Among 1,000 different mistakes, you'll understand that Burke Magnus, these guys I know, Connor Schell, who are running it, Jimmy Patero may not know his ass from third base. I don't know. He's just hiding in a bunker making millions, if not billions. But these guys know this network is crap. These guys know they have given in completely and totally to DEI, and they hate it. They couldn't hate it worse because these are guys that came up and built ESPN. See, ESPN, black and white guys, I know them all, used to have the most dedicated group, dedicated to ESPN. And then they decided after George Floyd, They were going to go the other way, and now they've completely lost their network. The best used to work there. The best. They had standards. And I'm not just talking about, you think I'm talking about on-air people. Oh, no. I'm talking about graphics, producers. How many mistakes do you see now during a game? It's embarrassing, and I don't even know what I'm looking for. Missed plays, which is a cardinal sin. ESPN, and I hate to say this because they put my kids through college, and I have a lot of good friends that are still there, but they tell me all the time what a dump it is, what low standards it is, what a mess it is, even in things like the makeup room with idiots running around acting like complete children, mostly the women of ESPN acting like complete children. If you see a woman on ESPN, chances are she's a child. One of them is a football reporter. I'm not even getting into that one, who takes things so seriously, but she may be the biggest child. She's a white girl. According to Stephen A. Smith, one of the most obnoxious on-air talents who has brought politics to the network's airways for years, it was unavoidable that we were going to find ourselves veering beyond the world of sports. Really? L. Duncan, another toxic political voice, says Patero supports her taking on abortion or sex changes for children on air because they're not political issues. Well, that's complete crap. See, Connor Schell, and they can lie about this all they want, Patero, and mostly Burke Magnus, who's pretty much running it, they feel trapped. They feel absolutely trapped. Here's white guys, and, we all understand, and we're coming out of it a little bit, that white guy bad, white guy awful. So they're trapped. They're not trapped by L. Duncan's talent. If you lost L. Duncan today at ESPN, not one person would notice other than L. Duncan screaming in the newspaper racism. If you lost Smith, you would notice. See, I would have fired Smith right after he made that thing about white people stay away. Because you got to have integrity in your network. You can't be doing that, at least in my opinion. But I'm different. I left $500,000 a year. I left $3.5 million at West Virginia over integrity things to go back to Bowling Green for $125,000. I'm just built different. But I think you got to have integrity. I think you got to have honor. I think you've got to have respect in your business. And ESPN doesn't have it. They've lost it, and they know they've lost it. I can't tell you how many employees have told me they know they've lost. I can't tell you how many employees have told me they've had backdoor meetings with the bosses, and they're like, look, just hang in there. Because they know these people are clowns. They know that L. Duncan is a complete bullshit clown, and they regret allowing her to go on. I mean, how about L. Duncan thinking that it's okay to mutilate children? How about L. Duncan going on the air and talking about don't say gay, which is absolutely a lie? How about Jalen Rose going on and talking about a guy that got murdered that's still alive? It's unbelievable. It's incredible. And they know it. But what they're trying to do here is they're trying to give themselves a smokescreen. Stephen A. Smith among them. Duncan is a run-of-the-mill progressive who thinks all her positions, get that thing out of there, on politics aren't political because they are all human rights. To the point that she uses halftime of basketball games to lecture viewers, apparently with the support of Patero, but Smith's comments are far more interesting. It was unavoidable that we were going to find ourselves veering beyond the world of sports. Why? Why? I mean, look, if you can go get a job, they're hiring DEI hires all over the news. You probably go get a job at CBS, NBC, ABC, probably get a job at Fox. I mean, why does it have to be in sports? Yeah, I don't know. But that's the way it is. Talking about Floyd, abortion laws, or Florida preventing pornography from being in first-grade classrooms is not what a sports network does. And it certainly is not some inevitable transformation. That's absolutely right. I mean, honest to God, Stephen A. Smith has no credibility as a basketball analyst or as a football analyst. Mina Kimes has no credibility as a football analyst. L. Duncan is a newsreader on a prompter. That's what you do when you are a host at ESPN. You put on your makeup, do your hair, act like an idiot in the makeup room, act like a child, and go on the air and read the copy that you wrote 3 hours earlier. That's it. So why are they giving political views on a sports network? I don't know. ESPN should be far more concerned about the declining quality of its content. Boy, is that true. The content of ESPN is garbage. I've sat with ESPN employees in the summer, the best of the best that they have, producers, and watched games. They're like, can you believe they showed that? Can you believe? I have text, and I can show them to you, but I would never break that trust, with the best producers at ESPN, and they're like, can you believe this broadcast? I had guys call me from the truck on Tuesday nights, a show I used to do, saying, can you believe this Brian Custard and this idiot Myron Metcalf are doing games that Tirico used to do, that Dave O'Brien used to do, that Brent Musburger used to do, acting like complete dumbasses, getting names wrong, things wrong. No, it's amazing. The content is garbage on games. On games. Look, I don't watch the shows. Be honest with you, I don't. I watched Mike and Mike. I loved Mike and Mike. I thought it was great. But I don't watch the shows. I haven't watched Stephen A. Smith's show because it's on during mine, or if it's not, I'm not watching. McAfee's on when my show is. I'm not watching Mike Greenberg's Get Up. I mean, Mike Greenberg is akin to, I don't know, Mr. Milquetoast. ESPN should be far more concerned about the declining quality of its actual content, made most apparent by a blowhard like Smith being one of the most prominent faces of the network, than about trying to become like every other liberal political outfit in the country. No viewers asked Smith or Duncan to lecture about politics, and certainly no one asked Pitaro to allow them, to do so when viewers just want sports. No, it's true. Like, one of the most disgusting things ever is when that lady Duncan broke in and started talking about abortion laws during the women's basketball tournament. Man. Honestly, and she's not doing it for any other reason than somebody would talk to. If she did not do that, do you think anybody would have ever spoken the name L. Duncan ever? I think the last time I was at ESPN, here's what happened. I was on the set with her and another guy, and I couldn't believe sitting there what dumbasses they were. I think it was her and Matt Berry, who apparently is a nice guy. And I sat there, and I could not believe what a child. And then I heard in the back somebody being loud and stupid, which is like what you're not supposed to be. And it was that Chimichanga lady, whatever the hell her name is, acting like a complete dumbass, bitching at somebody, just being an idiot. Yeah, I don't know. When I first started at ESPN, that's not the way it was. Oh, man, you had to be quiet around the set because people were working. You had serious people being fun as hell, but not being childish douchebags. I said on this set, and I will never forget, I knew I wanted to be done at ESPN when they said, hey, we need you to fly to ESPN and do the weekend right when COVID hit. And I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to be around idiots. And it was the first time ever. I'd been going there every week for 10 years. And I said, I think I'm sick. I don't think I can go. I might have this cold. Oh, no, Dan, you got to go home. Okay. I don't want to sit around with these clowns. Nah, it's amazing. You'll never read this out of the mainstream media because for whatever the reason, let me ask you a question. Stephen A. Smith comes on right now and says, oh, Dakich is a racist. Really? Okay. All right. Great. Go get him, champ. Dutch Olympic Chiefs. Listen to this, man. It's unbelievable. The Dutch, the fucking Dutch. The Dutch Olympic heads give a volleyball player who raped a 12-year-old British girl the green light to play in the Paris Games. They say there's no reason to stop him. I'll give you a reason. He raped a 12-year-old girl. This is our society, and it's not just the United States. Van der Velde, 28, has qualified for the games in beach volleyball with his partner, Matthew Immers, but his participation at the event, listen to this, in the French capital is likely to cause controversy after he raped a 12-year-old in 2014. The Dutch star was 19. Listen to this. He was 19 when he flew from the Netherlands to meet the schoolgirl in August after the pair started chatting on Facebook, taking her virginity. In a statement, the Dutch Sports Federation said there was no reason to exclude Van der Velde for taking part in the games. Okay. This is no shock at all. Now, I don't know what we're allowed to say or what we're not allowed to say, but there's no bigger dirtbag in sports than Antonio Pierce. Well, there is, but he's in the top. All you got to do is look at what he did with Herm Edwards at Arizona State. Antonio Pierce was a guy with, I think it was Plexico burrus when he shot himself at a nightclub, which is just the most amazing stuff ever, but typical. Anyway, I mean, athletes with guns always going to shoot themselves. It's just typical of the stupidity that Antonio Pierce involves himself. So then he goes to Arizona State, and he and Herm Edwards put that entire program on probation. The whole thing, like, they're doing stupid stuff during COVID. They could not have cared less about the rules. He parlays that into an assistant coaching job with the Raiders, and then the players like him. They win a game or two, and he becomes the head coach of the Raiders. All right. This is interesting. Apparently, his wife just declared bankruptcy. Somehow, some way, his wife got her hands on $28 million. Listen to this. Tasha Reed of The Athletic. A recent bankruptcy filing by Jocelyn Pierce indicates that her husband, Antonio Pierce, is financially responsible for $28 million in civil judgments. $28 million. Now, I got to tell you, if you lend money to this idiot, that's on you. No, that's on you. I've always said, man, don't ever partner with former Indiana men's basketball players that played under Bob Knight or professional athletes. No, that's on you. Former professional athletes, hey, man, I got this idea. Yeah, me too. Oh, man. Citing documents obtained by The Athletic, Reed, the writer, explains that the bankruptcy filing includes a statement from Jocelyn Pierce that creditors have attempted to collect assets belonging to the company. Nissan Motor Acceptance Corporation has a $23 million judgment, and Hyundai Capital America has a $4.5 million judgment. According to filing, both recently attempted to garnish Antonio Pierce's wagers with the Raiders. The judgments apparently trace to an investment made in car dealerships during the 2010s. Personal guarantees apparently were made by Antonio Pierce. When the businesses in which he invested defaulted on their loans, the lenders obtained judgments against those who guaranteed the debts, including Antonio Pierce. No. I absolve Antonio Pierce. I absolve him. He's an idiot. And if you don't know he's an idiot, that's on you, Nissan. If you don't know he's an idiot, that's on you, Hyundai. If you don't know that American athletes in their 20s with money are complete dumbasses, that's on you. Now, seriously. Hey, man, oh, man, it's really cool. This guy plays for the Raiders. This guy is a middle linebacker for the Giants. We trust him. Oh, man, are you out of your mind? Are you insane? Look, here's the deal. An athlete has to be out of being an athlete for 5 years. I don't care whether it's a collegiate athlete, a professional athlete. After 5 years, they basically look around and go, nobody really gives a rat's anymore. I mean, the occasional lady at the grocery store says, hey, I enjoyed watching you play. But for 5 years after they're playing, and it might be 10 for an NFL or NBA guy, they still think there's something. Every guy that has a brain will tell you. So if Antonio Pierce is within the playing / 5-year period, you're an idiot. A damn fool for involving yourself with him financially. Like, write this down, all you peoples. Write it down now. 5 years. Guy comes up to you and says, hey, man, I got this great investment with James Harden or Zach Edey or Khalil Ware or Reed Shepard. Yeah, great. I'll see you when his career's over, +6. Oh, it never fails. Well, I'm sure it does fail. I'm sure that once in a while an athlete doesn't F it up. But look, again, remember this. I'm not 24. I'm not 40. I've seen this. I've experienced. I say it all the time. Look, I played basketball for Bob Knight. I tell everybody, and my guys, I don't ever get in a business deal with somebody that played basketball for Bob Knight at Indiana. Don't do it. The Woods is full of people saying, man, you know that guy so-and-so that played at Indiana? He owes me money. Don't do it. Don't get involved with athletes until year 6, if they even have any money 6 years after they're done playing. Look, the guy that's the middle linebacker for the Colts is going to end up owning a gym that fails, or he's going to end up as the strength coach at the high school. Don't involve yourself. So, you idiots in the auto industry that gave money to frickin' Antonio Pierce, you got what you deserved, and you know he ain't paying. You know there's going to be a claim of racism coming here somewhere. You just know he ain't paying. See, it says attempted to garnish his wages. What garnish his wages mean that his paycheck goes directly to pay off his debt. You know he ain't paying. No chance. Jocelyn. You married the football player, did you, Jocelyn? How'd that work out for you? All right. I just get a kick out of it. I do. I'm sorry. I get a kick out of it. Texas A&M head coach. This guy's kind of a dirtbag. Jim Schlossnagle takes the Texas job less than 24 hours after ripping a reporter for asking a question about his future. Here's the exchange.
The rumors circulating today about a specific job opening. What do you have to say about your future in Aggieland?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty selfish of you to ask me that question, to be honest with you. But I left my family to be the coach at Texas A&M. I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again, and that hasn't changed in my mind. That's unfair to talk about something like that. That'd be like you asking Montgomery if he's going to sign in the draft. But I understand you got to ask the question, but I gave up a big part of my life to come take this job, and I've poured every ounce of my soul in this job, and I've given this job every single ounce I can possibly give it. So write that.
Coach, thank you very much.
Yeah. 10 minutes later, go blank yourself, fat ass. Seriously. I mean, look, there's a right. Look, I had to do this. I had to do this. I was asked questions about leaving Bowling Green to go to West Virginia. You just handle it like an adult man with a penis. You don't coaches are so stupid. It's one of the reasons I don't care about doing basketball. Here it is, introducing the new head coach of your Texas Longhorns, Fat Jimmy Schlossnagle. No, seriously. So the next day, he's meeting in a cemetery with his good friend, a guy named Del Conte, who's the athletic director at Texas. And he takes the Texas job. There's a right way and a wrong way to do this. Look, if you don't want to comment, hey, look, I'm not commenting on it. Game's over. But don't be all high and mighty. Don't be all pious when you know 10 minutes later, after you pull your frickin' jockstrap off your head, you're going to go to a cemetery in a clandestine meeting. There's a right way and a wrong. I'll tell you how I handled it. I told you this yesterday. I had a meeting with my team. Said, look, West Virginia's interested in me. I don't know if I'm taking the job, but I'm flying there, and I'm not going to bullshit. I'm either going to take the job or I'm not. And I'm not going to have time to drive back and tell you guys, so I'm telling you right now. And then I came back, and then I had a meeting after I took the job. Simple. It's not that hard. But I'm telling you, coaches are idiots. And one of the reasons that has made my life sad is once I went out and was broadcasting, I realized how dumb these guys were. See, I'm the kid that grew up having immense respect for coaches. And I still did when I coached. And then I got to know coach, and I'm like, Jesus, this guy's in the Hall of Fame? He's an idiot. He can't put two sentences together. No, honest to God. And I look at these guys, and I think to myself, this is horrible. Like, I didn't like my coach Bob Knight at the end of our, but I didn't like him personally. Like, it was a personal thing. But I did respect the way he went about his business as a coach. I did respect the fairness. I did respect the fact that I knew that if I worked hard, and I also respected the fact that he was going to tell you how it is. He wasn't going to sit up there like a big fat Buddha, tell some reporter that it's a disrespectful question. A minute later, he's in the middle of a cemetery talking to an athletic director of the exact place where the reporter asked him if he was going. Now, it'll make you nuts. Now, it'll make you absolutely nuts. So anyway, long story short, here's a press conference at Texas. Let's hear this.
But I get it. you can't ask for your fan base to support you and be passionate like the 12th man always has been, but really was this year. Our crowds were awesome, every single game. And so you can't ask for that like I did and our staff did, and then expect everybody to be okay with a coach leaving for its rival school. And I get it. All I can say is I have a career too. I have a personal life as well. That I have goals, and I just simply felt like no negative at A&M, just the positives of the alignment and, frankly, my relationship with Chris. That I knew there wasn't anybody at Texas A&M that I couldn't trust. I just know that I can trust Chris. I just know that. And as hard as that decision was, I could not walk away from it.
Stay on the right, Cedric. Oh, you're full of shit. You're just full of shit. I mean, he's making $3 million a year as opposed to $1 million a year. Just say that. I mean, God dang. I mean, honest to God, just say that. Trust. No, I get it. You're working with a friend, but let me give you the trust there, boss. If you don't win, you're fired. There's your trust. No, it's unbelievable. I don't know how. Again, maybe I pay attention too much, and I did as a player. I don't know how that guy could get in front of me as a player, and I could look him in the eye and think anything other. What a full of shit douchebag. The only coach I ever thought that about was my baseball coach at Indiana, a guy named Larry Smith. I don't know if he's dead or alive. The only coach that I ever really had from high school to college to wherever that I didn't respect was this guy Larry Smith, and I knew he was a dirtbag. And 10 minutes after the season, he left and went to Duke. And I knew all the players that he recruited and everybody, great guy. He's a dirtbag. He's just a dirtbag. That's all. And I knew it. Yeah, I wouldn't have been good in that situation. And that's how I look at things, and that's how we all should look at things. How would you respond in that situation? As the coach, I had that thing, and I handled it, I think, in the absolute right way, not lying to anybody, being matter of fact. And as a player, I'd be in the transfer portal unless I absolutely loved Texas and was guaranteed that I was, the best player on the team. But if I was a half-ass utility player, marginal guy, I'd be out there so fast. I won't play for an idiot. Life's too short. I guess it's the Olympics, so we've got to have a national anthem controversy. While the national anthem is a controversial topic, which is amazing for the U.S. women's national team, including this past year's Women's World Cup, U.S. women's national team captain Lindsey Horan explains why she will always sing the anthem ahead of the Paris Olympics. She had this to say: I think obviously it's an individual choice. It's amazing we're even debating this. Without getting emotional here, it's one of the coolest moments of a soccer game. You're stepping out. It's like a moment before you actually go on the field. You can kind of sit there mentally, fully prepare for what you're about to do. In that moment, I'm singing the anthem, and I'm just like, I'm playing for my country. I'm representing the USA, which is one of the coolest things in the world. I'm representing my family, the fans here in the stands and at home watching, the little girl wanting to be in this position. I think about all those things, and I will always sing the anthem because it's such a special moment for me. Yeah, as soon as I saw this, I thought to myself, I wonder how free these women are now that the holy grail of lesbianism, Megan Rapinoe, is out of there. I wonder. It's like, God dang, thank God we don't have this pos hovering over us like a helicopter mama bear and her pain-in-the-ass little friend Sue Bird, who, by the way, I refuse to believe will go through life totally as a lesbian. I'm just going to say it. You don't like it? Tough. But I'm going to say it. Sue Bird will eventually have a family, kids. I'm just saying. I could be wrong. And it is none of my business, but that's what I'm saying. The mama bear of lesbians is gone from the U.S. women's national team. So is hot girl Alex Morgan. Remember when Alex Morgan was all the rage, the hot girl? She gone too. They can get rid of all those clowns that did not stand for the national anthem as far as I'm concerned. It's an uninteresting group, but it's made far more interesting because of this young lady, Lindsey Horan. So now I'm a fan. Now I'm going to watch. But I'm going to tell you something. If any of those jackasses decides to kneel, F them. I ain't watching. No, I'm not doing it. Arch Manning, we got to talk about Arch Manning because Arch Manning is the most overrated quarterback ever. And then you can clip this, and maybe in a few years I've said something stupid, but I watched him throw on a 10-minute tape, and I'm like, yeah, he's all right. Yeah, if his name was Arch Dakich, he'd be playing at Ball State, leading the team, of course, to the MAC championship in the Las Vegas Bowl, but that's where he'd be playing. But his name is Manning, and he's making big money. And for some reason, he's content to sit behind Quinn Ewers, and maybe that's a good thing. Arch Manning's second season as a backup can prove beneficial, according to Quinn Ewers, to help cultivate his love and his passion for the university. Oh, I think that he gains a lot. Not being from the state and coming in, it's obviously a little different. I think he's got more time to grow his pride and love for the university. Obviously, he loves the university, loves the Longhorns, but kind of being able to sit back and watch, I think it's different from playing. So him seeing what's going on from inside but also outside, I think he can get a lot of intel from that. I got to tell you, college kids are deep, man. College kids are deep. I don't know that I loved my university. I love this place. I love being there, I guess. I don't know, but I like going back. I like going to Knicks. I like going to Zagreb's. I like seeing people. Yeah, maybe I was there too long, but I don't get this statement. He can sit back and learn to love his university. All right. What does that mean, Nick? What does that mean? What does that mean? Help me out here, Nick.
I don't think I can help you out on that one just because, you enjoy your time in college. Like I had a great time in college. I screwed around as much as I could. I, got into a little trouble here and there, but to say that you love your university, like a diehard, like, you got your logo tattooed on your ass or something, like, no, I don't think I can get behind that.
I don't either. All right, man. Maybe we're wrong. I did see this. Michael Kay freaked out about an SNY ad promoting the Mets broadcast team as the best booth in baseball. During his radio show, The Michael Kay Show, Kay took issue with the fact that his sales team would allow an ad proclaiming anyone other than himself as the best broadcaster in baseball to be ran on his program. And don't forget, Michael Kay is the voice of the Yankees. So he's pissed. Let's hear from Michael Kay.
.com today. Now, what I'm going to say right now might get me into some trouble.
Here we go.
I love when you start this way.
With who? I need to know who's going to get in trouble.
It could be my bosses.
Oh, cool.
It could be an advertiser. It could be the listening audience.
All right.
But, we appreciate every single one of the people that spend their money to advertise on the show.
Yes.
And SNY is one of those people. So, the game's on Yes tonight, and the game is on SNY. So the way it breaks down is Met fans usually watch on SNY, and Yankee fans will watch on Yes. But their ad, which ran during the last break, enjoy the Subway Series at the best booth in baseball. I mean, do you expect me to just take that line down? I think our booth is the best booth in baseball.
What do you want to say, Michael?
Well, I mean, but you know who the host of the show is. One of the hosts of the show is. You're going to put that. I'm supposed to sit there and take it laying down. I'll take O'Neill and Cohn and me over Garon and Keith. I would. I mean, they're great, but so.
I don't blame him. I mean, a lot of people are saying he's thin-skinned. All right. I don't blame him. I mean, it's on your show. You don't need somebody proclaiming somebody else the best on your show. And it's a savvy move by SNY. Why not? Why not put it right there? Put a little stick and break it off in Michael Kay a little bit. And I don't blame Michael Kay. I don't blame him at all. It's his show. He doesn't need anybody proclaiming. Hey, Nickelodeon, you're the East Coast analyst here. Who has a better booth? Is it the Yes Network, or is it SNY? What do we got? Who's better? What's good?
You know me, I'm biased, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to say SNY. I absolutely hate the Yankees, and I'm going to go and say Gary, Keith, and Ron. I also just love the fact that Keith can sometimes be a little silly and say some dumb, what on the air, like when he talks about his freaking cat instead of talking about baseball. So he can go out on a limb and do some stupid crap like that. But I went to the game last night, and I crapped all over Michael Kay. I started shouting into the booth, telling him he sucked. Unfortunately, he couldn't hear me, and I was a little tuned up. But we had a good time last night.
He couldn't hear you, and you were a little tuned up. Hey, let's go to the Yankees game and scream at Michael Kay. Let's go have a bunch of beers before. Let's pregame because we're going to let Michael Kay have it in the booth.
Oh, hell yeah.
You're a beautiful human being. You are an American treasure, big boy. I'm going to get tuned up and go scream at Michael Kay. I'm going to go to the Cubs game, and I'm going to rip Boog Shambi's ass coming up here.
Well, I like Boog, though. I don't like David Cohn either. No matter what, even though he was a Met, I don't like David Cohn either. He can kiss my backside.
Really? What's wrong with Cohn?
I don't know.
Why?
He was a Met originally, and he decides he's all of a sudden he's going to be with the Yankees. He's going to be he's a true Mets guy, and he decides to switch teams. No, I don't like that. I like loyalty to my Mets, and he does not loyal to my Mets.
There's no loyalty in baseball. What's wrong with you?
Oh, there is. Look at Mike Trout. That's a loyal man. You want to spend your entire career with the crappiest Los Angeles Angels team in the world, and you're going to stay there. Anyone will pick up your contract, and you decide to be loyal to the Angels. Go to the Phillies.
Yeah, that's dumb. You think? Hold on. You think Mike Trout is going to stay there for the rest of his career? You're nuts.
No, I don't think so. But he's had opportunities to go elsewhere, and he signed that massive extension. It was like a $426 million extension, and just stay in Anaheim, which I think is the dumbest.
Well, okay. So is it loyalty or is it a massive extension?
Well, he can get that anywhere. It's loyalty.
I don't know the rules of baseball. Like basketball, you can only get that super max if you're with a team. I don't know the rules on baseball. All right.
Well,
yeah, but Mike Trout, Mike Trout he's not staying. Yeah, you're right. Sohei left. But Trout's not staying there for his career.
No. I really hope not. I want him to see him in the playoffs. And if he stays in Anaheim, he's not going to the playoffs because Anaheim is literally I feel like they have a toxic culture inside the clubhouse. That's why they can't win.
I feel like Anaheim always sucks. I feel like Anaheim has sucked since Donnie Moore, back before you were born, gave up a home run. And sadly, it hurt Moore so much that he ended up committing suicide. But I feel like the Angels have been awful since that moment in a weird way. And I know that sounds harsh or whatever, but most people will tell you there's just moments that break a franchise. And they were going to the World Series, and then next thing you know, the closer gave it up. And man, I'm maybe that's too harsh, but I don't know, man. There's always moments that you have to recover from, and I feel like the Angels have never recovered from 1990 or whatever the hell it was. I do.